So the next advanced trading technique that we'll discuss is the Fibonacci level or Fibonacci retracement tool. So the Fibonacci retracement tool is a popular charting tool used by many traders across financial markets, regardless of crypto, stocks, equities, forex. The tool is based on the Fibonacci sequence created thousands of years ago. It's a sequence of numbers and that have similar ratios. They're essentially there's a ratio or some sort of mathematical formula that will predict the next number, and it maintains a certain golden ratio to keep it short. Now, traders use this Fibonacci retracement tool to draw and identify retracement and extension levels. Basically, we get to use this tool to identify areas of interest on a chart that can act as support and resistance, and it can help us with trade entries and exits along with stop loss placements. So here's an example of the Fibonacci retracement tool. It's similar. You can think of it similar to support and resistance, but instead of having to look at the candles and overall patterns, it's just another way of implementing some sort of horizontal support and resistance level, but this is actually based on numerical values and ratios between the highest point that you've selected and the lowest point. In this particular section, we're looking at Ethereum to the US dollar on the 4-hour chart, and we have a Fibonacci retracement drawn from the 3700 level, or about 3675, and we placed it down to 2651. And what this allows us to do is, now that we see that this high point, prices come down from here to here, what we can do now is we can start to use mathematical ratios and proportions to figure out and plan where could price go to, right? So if we only knew this up to here, we didn't know anything else happening, we could say, all right, well, price is down here. Let's say maybe price could potentially stop here and maybe here as well. And as we could see, both levels, this 0.236, this 0.382, each one of these lines served as a significant level of support and resistance. We're seeing this act as support here. We saw this act as a significant level of support and resistance, really rage trading right over here, and price really held between these two levels. So this does work out, and we're going to go more into the finer details on how to implement it and how to use it in just a little bit. Touching upon the Fibonacci sequence, we're not going to go too much into the math behind it, just more so focus on the actual tool itself and how to use it in a trading perspective. So the Fib retracement tool is based off a sequence of numbers and ratios identified by the mathematician Leonardo Fibonacci in the 13th century. The mathematical relationship between the numbers in the sequence form ratios that are then plotted onto a chart. And we'll see these different ratios between 0, which would be your starting point, 0.236, 0.382, 0.618, 0.786, and then the 1. This would be your ending spot. So depending on where you started and where you ended, you would start with 0 and end with 1. And we would see these different numbers, basically the ratios between your starting point and your ending point. And what's interesting here is that these ratios, these golden ratios, were actually observed in nature, and they were in existence before Leonardo Fibonacci essentially coined the phrase and trademarked the concept. But this is something that's found in nature. It's a natural ratio, natural proportions that are just found in many different ancient civilizations and whatnot. And mathematicians have used these proportions and have used them successfully in a variety of situations. We got to use them in trading. Now, in addition to these levels, these different ratios, some traders consider the 0.5 level to be of significance, as it represents the midpoint of the range. Something to keep in mind. I do agree with that. It's important to Well, when we set up our fib levels, we do want to have the 0.5 visible as well. I do find that to be useful. Now, ratios outside of the 0 to 1 range can also be used, such as the 1.618, the 2.618, and the 4.236 ratios. These can be considered extensions of the base sequence. So we can go to numbers and levels beyond just 0 and 1, and we'll touch upon that in just a little bit.